What's up guys, it's Missy. I'm back with another SimCity Build It video. Today we're going to be talking about the contest mayors for low level players. If you have not already, please hit that like and subscribe button. You can join us on Facebook at SimCity Build It, MissyAnne. Like I said, we're almost at 3,000 subscribers, so anytime you guys can share my channel with people, my videos, get my name out there, it would be much appreciated. Comment down below to boost my algorithm. And let's go ahead and jump right into this. This is part 2, so you guys should have already watched part 1. If you have not watched part 1, I highly recommend that you go and locate it and watch it. It is the Contest to Mayors 2022 low-level comm guide, okay? Print layout. All right. Now, we left off in the section where we were going through each one of the assignments and its rules. So we're going to go through here. Locate it. Okay, right here is where I believe it begins. Yeah, war tasks. Okay, war delivery, premium. This is a limited task, can only be done during war on the monster. Each one of these definitions goes through and tells you what you need to know about each assignment. It gives you algorithm and risk and all that good stuff. Opportunity, okay, so pay attention to all the rules. I highly recommend that when you guys are making your selections on your assignments, that you guys refresh your memory on, what the rules of the assignments are. Don't just blindly pick value and opportunity and think that that's going to get you where you need to be. It'll get you a decent score, but ultimately, when you're playing up against somebody that's good and knows what they're doing, it's going to come down to the littlest thing, the littlest mistake. Okay, so like I said, your guys' leaderboards are probably garbage right now, and you're able to get a win just doing the whole pick your highest task trick or whatever they think that is. But at some point that is not going to work, especially when you come up against somebody who's good, or you get to high level comp. So make sure that you guys are trying to get these techniques figured out, okay? All right, risk. Basically, there are no high upgrades in your list. You run a small risk of having this kick back a high upgrade. Risk does not apply to high level players, so that part in the blue you guys are going to ignore. The risk section is for you guys as low level players. Launch common war attack. This is a limited assignment, can be completed during war and against the monster. Make sure that you pay attention to your war time and your monster to ensure that you're able to rotate it, properly. Pops up usually 1 to 2 times per contest. You normally don't have too much of a risk with this one. Launch rare war card. If it's at 1,000 points, you want to be careful if you don't have at least 4 upgrades in your list. It doesn't mean that you can't rotate it. It just means that if you have other things that could be rotated and you don't have at least 4 upgrades in your list, that you be very careful, as it could kick back a high upgrade. Okay? Now, launching a legendary purple card. This one, is usually something that should get done as soon as value becomes decent on your list. Obviously, if you have a 1,200 launch legendary versus like a 3,000 war delivery, you're going to do the war delivery, right? So the risk is usually low. It is a high premium, can be worth up to 3,600 points, so you definitely want to take that into account when rotating. If you have a 1,200 paint and 1,200 launch legendary is limited time. And, it's a high premium, so it can come back worth a lot more than the paint. War booster. Now, this one has a very high risk. It can only be worth 1,000 points. The risk is that it usually kicks back some kind of an upgrade, usually a high upgrade. If you are getting upgrades to roll in, and you want to do a cancellation, this is a good assignment to do to try to see how many upgrades you're going to get. That way you can get your cancellation done. Otherwise, you want to be careful to make sure you have right around 4 upgrades at a minimum in your list before you rotate that assignment, like I said, unless you're doing a cancellation. Specific war attack has a low algorithm to it. You want to try to get that one done, as soon as the opportunity presents itself. It has a low algorithm, so you should be okay with that. Not really a big risk there. Launch attack in Club Wars, that's something you want to get done before war ends for your group to make sure that, you don't end up in a situation where you can't do it. It's not something you can do on the monster. With Rare War Attack and Legendary, whatever, you guys can still complete those assignments on the monster. Whereas the Launch Attack and Club Wars can only be done during war. Opportunity is high because this task does not normally appear more than once. It has a good opportunity to open up something of good value. Risk, the main risk here is for both high and low level players, is that you could get into the streaks and not be in war. Now, this, I'm going to go through and I'm going to edit this. This was something that could happen way back at the beginning. So far, we're not seeing those assignments popping up in the streaks anymore. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to edit a lot of this stuff out. So you guys should be able to safely rotate these without them popping up in the streaks. If anybody here does get this assignment in the streaks, send me a private message with a screenshot, proof of screenshot. That way I know. But to the best of my knowledge, as of now, that assignment does not pop up in the streaks anymore. Okay? Monster. This assignment has an extremely high algorithm to it. If it is below 2,000 points, don't touch it for the duration of the contest, as it will only continue to come back and cause you problems. Okay, let's see. Earn coins. This assignment is usually done as a last resort rotatable option before the streaks as a way to get in any last minute upgrades or factory productions. The opportunity is not great. It usually comes back within 2 to 4 rotations. That being said, risk is low. It doesn't usually cause anything bad to happen. It's just that the stupid thing keeps coming back and then it lowers your average. So it's not a good assignment, for opportunity unless you're really close, like I said, close to the streaks. If you're looking at a 1,400 coins, keys and repair, start with the coins, as you can usually get more rotations out of it. Then move to the keys, then the repair. Airport delivery, this one is for Paris. This one can be worth up to 2,400 points. The algorithm is, moderate. It's not something usually that you get repeatedly. If you are getting it repeatedly, then you would want to use caution when rotating if it's not at least at main task value. Low risk. Tokyo and London are the same in value, same in opportunity, same risk. There really isn't a risk, honestly. They're pretty good tasks in general, aside from the fact that they cost you cash. Then you have keys at the value of 1,200. You mark it last resort rotatable, meaning you do not touch it until pre-streaks. Like, not pre-streaks, but right before the streaks. So like within 30 to 20 tasks, 20 to 30 tasks remaining is when you would do this assignment to bring in any factory productions and upgrades. If it is over 1,200 points, then you would do this assignment when the opportunity presents itself, as it is holding one of your decent place values. Okay, so if you have a 1,600 keys, you haven't done it yet, and it's the highest assignment in your list with the exception of all the other crap that you gotta look at, you would probably go with the keys. Okay? Risk is low. Now we have Beach and Mountain. This one always comes in for 2,500 points. You should only do this assignment in Mega. It can come in the streaks. So if you are in a situation where you're having a really hard time hunting this stuff, probably best to not rotate it right before the streaks. Usually I would not advise you leave this assignment to sit ever, but you don't want to end up in a situation where you fail the streaks because you can't find your beach and stuff. Now, another thing that you guys want to pay attention to is when you start your assignments. I cannot tell you how many people fail assignments because they start them, and they should have just waited. If you get beach or mountain in general, whether it be in the main task list or the streaks, do not start it until you have the damn beach items. I can't tell you how many people are, oh my god, they fail because they start the damn task. Same thing, they'd have like a wood assignment in the streaks. They could have just laid the wood down, waited for it to be ready for pickup, then started the assignment. But they start the assignment, then wait for the wood, they get distracted, and then they fail the assignment. Don't do that, okay? Algorithm is extremely high on beach and mountain, so just be prepared for it to come back repeatedly. If you're on the Missy's Building Guide and it's your first few weeks in Mega, you're probably going to get this assignment a lot, so you need to make sure you have coins. Okay, cargo. This one has a moderate algorithm. You know, sometimes it comes back quite a bit. It really depends if it's one of your repeat tasks. As long as it's at decent value, you know, you could rotate it 1 to like 3 times throughout the contest, but if you're just getting it over and over, don't bother, okay? It really depends on the value and if it's your good doorway and all that good stuff. Now, the epic comes at a high risk for you low-level players because you guys only have one map. So if you do this assignment before the streaks, you want to make sure that you do it within the first 20 to 25 assignments and that it's at main task value. If it's at rotatable value, you more than likely will want to leave it to sit unless you have enough time for it to come back in the main list, okay? If you are just before the streaks, do not start this assignment because what's going to happen is it's going to keep coming back. It usually comes back like 3 times in a row, you know, like 3 times within 3 rotations of each other. And you guys have a 12-hour downtime on your epics. So if you start a streak, you get a glass assignment for 2 rounds, and then you do an epic task and you're on a downtime for 12 hours. There you go, you just failed the streak. Launch VU is a premium assignment. You need to make sure that you have enough VU to do this assignment multiple times. It has a pretty decent algorithm, moderate, you know, depending, again, if it's one of your repeat tasks. Doesn't really come at a high risk. If you're getting this assignment for low value, then just move to something else that is your best option. Don't sit there and do this assignment repeatedly if it's not being good to you. Oops. Okay. VU repair, the same thing as the keys, except for this one has a little bit higher algorithm to it and usually does not come in for main task value. Okay. Let's see. Land expansion can come in the streaks. Now this one is extremely high risk for people who are about to start streaks. Do not rotate this assignment before the streaks. Also, it has a really, 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 really high algorithm, so try to get the land unlocked as fast as you possibly can, whether you have an assignment for it or not. Just get it done. It's just going to keep coming back. If you have one of your good doorways, you don't want it to get covered up with the dozer expansion. This assignment is probably going to be in your list until you get the land fully unlocked, which means it's taking up one of your 2K place values and one of the spots on your list where you need to be putting an upgrade or factory production. That being said, get your land expansions done as fast as you can, okay? All right. Design, upgrade, and submitting design challenge. Now, for low-level players on the Missy's Building Guide, you guys are camping. You're not going to be doing this assignment, even if you're not on the Missy's Building Guide. If you're playing low-level comm, that means you're camping. So do not do this assignment. Every time you upgrade on the design challenge, it costs you experience. Then you get no credit for it because you don't get to keep the house. This assignment, whether it be submit design challenge or design upgrade, either one of those assignments counts as your upgrade. So if you have the submit design challenge for 2,500, it will count as having the design upgrade in your list and vice versa, okay? You may want to cancel the design challenge for 2,500 if you're in a really shitty situation. For example, 1 week with a low-level player, and usually I try not to cancel the design challenge because of its high algorithm, but I had a low-level player who had a 2,400 Latin, 2,400 Old Town, 2,500 design challenge. They had to do a cancellation. With Latin and Old Town being high premium, those can come back worth 3,600 points. So it was better to cancel the design challenge given that it's already at its highest value point, and I have the possibility of it coming back as a design upgrade, which can go as low as 800 points. So went with the design, okay? That's one scenario where you would cancel that. All right, factory productions. These ones come at a high risk. You know, all of them have different rules. you're going to prep feed before the contest, but basically any long factory productions you want to do within the first 20 to 25 assignments, then you pretty much leave them to sit thereafter until after the streaks, given that you have to do double downtime for them. That is really, really, really hard on low-level players, especially when they're in the streaks. I had a guy this week that he moved really, really slow. He was down to like 2 days when he got to, not even 2 days, when he got to his streaks. He had glass in streak like 1 or 2, and it was 10 hours downtime, leaving him with 12 hours to finish like 4 streaks. So all it would have taken is 1 more factory production. That's it. And he would have not only failed 1 streak, but he would have failed the whole contest and lost everything, so he wouldn't have been able to finish on time. So do not put yourself in that situation, okay? If you have to do factory productions, you usually want to keep working, if at all possible, and make sure that you are not rotating ones with high algorithms unless they absolutely have to be rotated. Things like sugar at a lower value should not be done. So many low-level players do sugar when it's not at main task value, or at least like 16 to 17, about 1,700, 1,800 points. I usually leave it to sit unless it's right around the 1,800 mark, okay? Chemicals has another high algorithm, but at least the downtime is 2 to 4 hours, depending on how many rounds. But like I said, given the fact that it keeps coming back, you don't want to do it unless it's between 1,600 and max value. Metal, wood, plastic, seeds, and minerals, those can be done rather quickly, so those are different. You don't have to secure those before the streaks. They're perfectly fine. Animal feed is something you prepare before the contest begins, and you clear it within the first 20 to 25 assignments if it has to be cleared, okay? If it's at 1,400 and, you're already running low on doorways, then, and you know it's going to have to be done, then get it done within the first 20 to 25 assignments, sooner rather than later. If it comes in worth, main task value, then you'll want to get it done, like I said, 20 to 25 assignments in. After that, though, it's just going to have to be left alone, okay? Glass, and you guys shouldn't have well, yeah, you would. Some of you will have electrical depending on what level you are playing low-level combat. If you have electrical unlocked, then you would prep electrical before the contest begins. And like I said, use extreme caution when you rotate that one, because it's really high downtime. Okay, textiles has a moderate algorithm. Usually doesn't continually come back unless it's a repeat task. It's not horrible on downtime, but you do want to use caution when rotating it. Sugar, we already talked about that. And then shop productions, you mark as premium as well. Shop productions can be sped up with tokens. So you guys make sure that you guys are preparing your shops. Watch the com prep videos if you need to. But basically there isn't a whole lot of risk here with the shop productions. Just make sure that you're doing value and value opportunity before you rotate these to determine which one is the correct choice. Let's see. That's a regional. Okay, that covers that. So now we're going into com prep for low-level players. Oops. Go back up. All right, low-level com prep. You want to make sure that you have a minimum of 300,000 coins. The more the merrier. Several hundred cash. You got to make sure that you can be able to do those deliveries and whatnot. Available war cards, keys, and boosters. This is very important. This is why you guys have to speed level, okay? On the Missy's Building Guide, you go up to level 18 as fast as possible, and then once you join a group, you go up to level 24 as quickly as possible. This allows you to join a group and bank in on your war cards. The moment that you unlock the monster, you should also be attacking the monster, because that also allows you to unlock war cards. You need to stack up war cards, boosters, war coins, and keys, so that when you get to Mega, you can afford to do this assignment. You're going to get war booster assignments, you're going to get upgrade war card assignments. You do not want to be in a position where you cannot do those assignments. Do not waste war card upgrades. you know, because they get very, very expensive rather quickly. And if you guys just upgrade them like crazy, you're going to be in a really bad spot. Okay, Epic's available. You want to make sure that you have regular residential homes at maximum upgrade. Now, just a little tip for you guys. A lot of you guys keep making this mistake. In the Missy's Building Guide, I tell you guys that you need to have a minimum of 35 residential homes at maximum upgrade. That is to participate in war. It doesn't mean that you only need 35 homes and that you stop upgrading. It means that that is the minimum. A lot of people were building homes and they weren't upgrading them all the way. They had like, 60 homes out there at half upgrade. Make sure you're upgrading your stuff all the way in order to be able to convert it to an epic project. Prepare feed in your factories. If you are, like I said, high enough to have electrical unlocked but low enough to play low-level comm, then you would prepare electrical. All shops you should prep with the longest / most likely item that you will get the task for. Prep your inventory with hard-to-get items. So what this means is you guys don't prep your inventory to have stuff that you can easily obtain on the global market. Make sure that whatever you can get easily on global stays on global, and that whatever is hard for you to obtain, that you either have it prepped in your inventory and your shops, or at least in your shops, okay? So paint, ladders, planks, nails, all that good stuff. You don't need to have a whole bunch of donuts in your inventory. Those are easily, obtained. You want to make sure you have melons and rolls, cream, stuff like that, okay? Glue is another good one to prepare. Okay, enough VU. Now, normally I say 50 of each for my high-level players. I know that with your guys' storage capacity, 50 of each is going to be hard to do, but just try to make sure that you have as many VU items as you can and still play calm, easily with your inventory. Balancing your inventory is what this game is all about. Okay, that's 100% what the game is about. Check airport timers. Send away any that do not line up with the contest mayor's timer. So if you have one that doesn't, doesn't even leave, it's already there and doesn't leave for like 10 hours, and the contest of mayors begins, sooner than that, then you can just send it away, or vice versa. Just line it up to where it's there when the contest begins, okay? Whatever you got to do that. It's always going to change. Okay, how to select your assignments. This is the contest of mayor's math. We're just going to briefly go through this, but basically, you have Formula 1, and that is where you look at your entire list as a whole, okay? You're going to mark everything that is at 1,500 points or higher with a value up. Okay, so Formula 1 is value, opportunity, and opportunity. So you're going to go through your whole list, and anything with 1,500 points or higher, you mark an up arrow or a +1 for value. Then you mark value opportunity as +1 and an up arrow. Okay, value always matches value opportunity. Then you're going to go through them all, and you're going to mark them as opportunity. Which ones have good opportunity, which ones don't have good opportunity. Monster does not have good opportunity. Keys, no. Repair, no. Whatever it is. Mark it as yes, no, so up or down, okay? Now, once you've done that, you're going to look at anything that's, your highest plus marks. If you got +3, grab any of your +3s or +2s, whatever they are. Usually there's 3 of them max. That gets you down to your, the overall, okay, it comes down to these couple of tasks. I know I'm going to do one of these assignments, right? Once you've done that, you then erase value, opportunity, and opportunity. Erase all that, okay? And start over, but not using the 1,500 threshold. You're going to be comparing it against the task that you picked out. So let's say that you have a board delivery for 3,000 and a VU for 3,000, okay? Well, which one do you do? And why? So value would be what? Equal. Value opportunity, equal. Opportunity, pretty much equal. What else? Value difference. Well, let's do Formula 2. So value difference, there isn't any, okay? Value possibility, they're both the same. Type of task, they're both premium. Okay. History, have you done either one of these yet? Does it matter because they're 3K? So no. The game category, is there anything going on in your game that would make one more important than the other? Yes. War. Okay. The war delivery one takes priority because war is on a timer. Downtime. Is there any downtime for either of these assignments? No. Algorithm. They're pretty similar, but VU is slightly higher in algorithm. So if your war timer is going, if you have a really long time on war, you can do the VU first, depending on, your good doorways and where you're at and all that good stuff. But usually you go with the war delivery first, okay? And that is how you do Contest of Mayor's Math. We'll go through one more scenario, and then that'll be the end of the video. So let's say you have a 1,600 keys versus a 1,400 paint, okay? Starting here, let's say we've already done Formula 1, so we're going straight to Formula 2. We're doing a task versus task comparison. 1,600 keys versus a 1,400 paint. Value is up on the keys and down on the paint, okay? So value opportunity is up on keys, down on paint. Opportunity is up on the paint, but down on the keys, okay? So we've got +2 on the keys so far and +1 on the paint. Now we have value difference. So what did we say the paint was? 1,300? Is that what I said? No, I said 1,400. So a 200 value difference. What's value possibility? Well, keys can go, up to 2,000 or whatever. Paint can go higher than that. So paint is better. Paint is premium, whereas keys is non-premium. History of the assignments. Have you done either of these assignments yet? Now, let's say that you've done keys 3 times now and it keeps coming back for 1,600 points or a lower value. Wouldn't that be an indicator that it's just lowering your average and that you need to try a different doorway? Yeah, it would. And that would be the deal breaker of which one you would do first. Let's say that you haven't done either one of them yet. Then it's looking like keys would be the better option, given that it's 200 points more. It's holding one of your halfway decent place values, and it hasn't been tried yet. So that's going to be what the deal breaker is between these 2 assignments. What else? Anything going on in your game that would make these harder or whatever to complete? Do you have paint prepped? Don't know. Okay, next one, downtime. What's the downtime on the paint versus the keys? Algorithm. Well, keys has a really, has a medium, well, actually it has a high algorithm. Not extremely high, but high. So we know it's going to come back. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So really we're just trying to open up its place value to get it back in the list for 1,200 points. Or if it comes into main task value, then great. Whereas the algorithm on the paint is significantly lower. So the opportunity is significantly better, right? So it comes down to the history. If you have done the keys multiple times, then you would go with the paint. Otherwise, you would go with keys and then paint, okay? After when the opportunity presents itself. Now, this is a perfect example of why you guys need to look at everything. So many people are only looking at value and opportunity. They're not looking at anything else. If you don't start looking at all these other categories and start narrating your week and taking into account all the other contributing factors, you're not going to continue to win the contest, if ever, okay? You have to start really looking at everything. So that pretty much sums up the Contest of Mayor's Guide as of right now. There is 2 parts to this video. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments section or reach out to me on Facebook. I will be updating this document, making some changes to it, and updating some video links. Once you see a thumbnail and a description on this video, you can go ahead and print the guide, and it will be 100% complete. Okay?